The 80s band Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark are dropping a whole load of singles, and yes, I'm talking about the 80s band. They're back with the new album and those singles on YouTube being dropped in audio form. But this is one of the official visualizer that accompany this particular track we're about to look at. After 40 years, the only thing I can say is OMD, that's the abbreviation for the band, Anthropocene Cine, is a futuristic A1 look at an introverted way at the world. And it's also a song, and we're going to give you an abbreviation of it, delves into the concept and consequences of the Anthropocene, which refers to the current geological epoch characterized by significant human impact on the Earth's geology and ecosystems. In other words, what we have done to this world and the devastation we've caused. The lyrics discuss the progression of human population throughout history, highlighting the exponential increase in numbers and its implications for the planet. It's a very heavy, when you consider what OMD have done in the past. This is a very deep, and in my opinion, the best track on the album. It's a very deep, sorry about this, the window's open and I live in the city centre of Dublin. So it's a very deep intake into the current situation that we find ourselves in. And I have to say, from pop classics, and all of us can name a great, Enola Gay, for example, is probably the most prominent one in my head that I absolutely savoured when it came out, and it's still garnering hundreds of thousands of views a year. I think coming back in 2023 with this particular track is going to seal them as a band to watch out for the future if they wish to continue with albums. Who knows? But as I said, it comes from Pohana Staircase, their 2023 album release, and it's one of 12 tracks, and it's track 2 we're going to listen to. I have everything in front of me. I don't need to give you a bio about this 80s band. They're just loved, savoured and admired. I've given you the bio of the song, so let's look at what their interpretation of the implications, ecological and otherwise, that the increased populations of the world has had. It's very futuristic, judging by the images, and this is the first time I've seen it in its entirety, so I am looking forward to it just as much as you. Welcome back, OMD. Welcome back with such a forthright message to have in your video and in your lyrics. And I'm going to be challenging myself breaking down these lyrics because they're very technical, but I will do my best to keep them as simple as I can. Take it away, guys.
The current geological epoch.
Years before now, global human population is 5 million.
geological epoch. Dating from the commencement of significant human impact on Earth's geology and ecosystems, including anthropogenic climate change. 100% geology and ecosystems. Anthropocene, significant human impact.
100 years before now, global human population is 2 billion. 10 years before now, global human population is 7 billion. 1 million years after now, global human population is
Well, what would it be in 1 million years' time? I don't know. But the way things are going with the many wars we're having in the world and the manipulation of politicians against the people, us, closing down the banking system, for example, forcing us to not have cash. And I would simply say in this video, I am wanting cash in our system. And they're forcing us into a future technology where they can control every aspect of your banking ways and how you do things currently. So you need to write to your politicians and say, we want more ATMs to withdraw our cash back in our towns and cities. They're disappearing. Even in my 2023, my local village here in Ireland, they're disappearing. They've taken them away without prior notice to the people. And now people are searching everywhere in the countryside for places to withdraw cash, to fill their cars, to buy their groceries. Cash is what we need in our system to stop them, the outside politicians and the people at the very top, which is controlled by a few, controlling us. And I see a lot of that destruction in this video. Anthropocene to me would be about the devastation of our own ignorance. If we keep turning a blind eye, we are going to be in this situation. And it's nothing to do with increased populations. I feel personally it's to do with politicians getting away with what they ought not to be getting away with. But in today's video, that's my message going to be preached. The song begins with that statistical data regarding human population at various points in time, and it emphasized the vast difference between past and present numbers, as you've seen. And the line, walking in the carbon band, evidence of human hand, suggests that humanity's influence is evident in the layer of carbon present in the Earth's structure, symbolizing our impact on the planet's geology. If you've noticed, that singular aspect of that represented in the human form in that video collapsed, couldn't breathe, because you know, we need carbon monoxide air to be pure and purified, but the devastation of wars, the devastation of the world, the devastation of crops and everything else that's happening. And you see all the satellite systems behind. People are now saying it's the satellites being controlled by various governments and people in power that are destroying without the knowledge of the people, our crop systems and changing our environment. Now, I agree that the Earth, after millions of years, will be rotating and changing. We've gone through the Ice Age, we're currently at what we are now. But we hear a lot of propaganda about the Earth and the Sun, and we're in close proximity and we're going to burn, and all these asteroids is going to blow up the Earth. But they haven't in, if you consider light years, millions of years. So why all of a sudden is it happening? Manipulation. And it's manipulation by the powers that to be that we don't know. That's what I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I am a person that believes in the present and now and what's happening. And I see a lot of politicians around the world scratching each other's backs, wars going on, and people are being killed now in their hundreds of thousands. And one war, one country, it's another country, it's another country, it's another country. And the people of the world need to say stop. And there's mobilization of people. And you see in this video desolation in a desert island, and you think, good God, what's happening here? But that is going to be the reality of our surroundings and what we view outside our windows. There'll be no buildings left. They'll be destroyed by the environment, by all the factors I've mentioned, and others as well. There are technology and war weapons we don't know about that can wipe out continents, wipe out wars. And we see it with every day, the evidence of nuclear testing on the waters. We see so much devastation going on around the world as regards wildlife, as regards pollution of the seas. And we take the seas for granted, but they're our source of water and life. And we are taking so much of what truly we should be safeguarding as the angels of the earth. And that's what we are. I believe we're sent by God, we're the angels of the earth, and we should be living a good life. And most of us are. But what's happening is the politicians' greed for money and power has gotten so out of hand in amongst themselves. They've formed almost like a universal way of thinking that is detriment to us. And that is the reality of that video for me. It's just going to be somebody walking around thinking, we've had human beings for millions of years, but now they can't survive with the air quality. They can't survive because there's nothing to exist to live on in the world. The land is barren. And how do you survive? You don't. You slowly die. And you see that figure of a human being stripped of all clothes, stripped of what we would term as normal things to look at when we look at a human being, just stripped to the bare skin. And the skin is like something you'd see in a science lab. You know, like when doctors are practicing on dead bodies, or when you look in a book on the human body, it's just the bare skin and muscle. It's devastating. It's a powerful video, OMD, and I am Anthropocene to me, if I was to twist it a little, Anthropocene is the scene of the future. But it delves into the concept, as I said in the beginning, and consequences of the geological impact characterized by human activity and the Earth's geology and ecosystems, how fragile they are towards nuclear weapons, all of this in our current times. And the lyrics do discuss that human population, because if we go beyond what I've said before, the chorus of the song reiterates the term Anthropocene and emphasizes its significance, everybody, as the current geological epoch. It mentions that this began with the commencement of significant human impact, including anthropogenic climate change, which I've mentioned. And this draws attention to the detrimental consequences of our actions on Earth's ecosystems and geology. That's why I've said We are the angels of the earth. We have to safeguard what we have. And vote those ATMs back into our system, get cash back into our system and get normality, and let's stop going back. This band is from the 80s, and that was the era that the whole world savored, and we refer to, and the 90s, as it'll never be replicated. No, it won't, because we might not even be here to replicate anything. If we don't vote, if we don't put in the changes and stop changes, that's going to leave us with a world that we've seen in this video. The lyrics describe, towards the end, Anthropocene as a dirty mark in history, it says in the lyrics, and a souvenir for all to see. And that's what I'm warning everybody about here. It conveys regret, but does it convey real accountability? Because even if our world ended up like what we've seen in the video there, let's just ask the question. I guarantee the politicians aren't on the earth. They're building up in space, they're building in other places we don't know about. They're probably sipping their champagne and clinking their glasses. But after coming from a world of plenty, and we're living in the most, believe it or not, plentiful era ever in the human race, why are they stripping the people money systems, powers to control, to take that away from us? I don't know. I'm not a politician. But I am a person who thinks. And as I said, that is a dirty mark in history, as these lyrics say. And it's going to be a souvenir for all to see if we don't stop the rot now. This conveys a sense of regret and accountability, as I said, and the negative impacts and effects we've had on our planet is exactly what is in that video. I feel to summarize this video by OMD, which has blown me away as a video, I have to say, and it's the actual official video, not the visualizer. Sorry for that before. It's a theme obviously of decline. It's a theme that is emphasized by the words Anthropocene, and it's shown in lines like documenting our decline, it says in the lyrics, and tragic in trajectory. Now before that happens, we have the wonderful thing in Ireland called vote, and we vote, and we have that liberal voting system here that other countries are denied of. And what I would say to anybody with that precious vote in your hands is vote for the right politicians who believe in saving the earth, saving the animals, getting our banking systems back to the way they were, doing away with all this BICOM nonsense and all the other things that a few people control, and bringing control through the banks back to us where it belongs. And money, getting politicians to spend that cash money on projects like the earth, water systems, improved health, schools, and growing more eco-friendly foods, all of that, so we can be here in a million years time. Well, not me, but my generations. Will they be doing YouTube in a million years time? They probably will, but more advanced. I'd probably be a robot. So I'm going to leave you with those thoughts. Deep moving video. Thank you for the message, OMD. I hope everybody has listened to what I've had to say about it and takes note. Anthropocene is a fantastic and phenomenal video after 40 years to come back with. Well done, guys.